Really looking forward to catching up with this gentleman today. I got a chance to meet him at the Easy E celebration in the city of Compton not too long ago. And anyone who knows me knows I'm fascinated with history, especially urban history, Chicano history, black history. And I'm really excited to talk with this gentleman today about the Pachuco lifestyle, the ZOOT history, and not only that, but his life as well. Ladies and gentlemen, on the line, I have Pachuco Manny. What's up, man?
Hey, órale, brother. What's up?
Nothing much.
What an honor. What an honor.
Thank you so much. I really appreciate you joining the show. And what I want to do is I want to talk a little bit about your growing up, your upbringing, and then we'll parlay that into the history of the Pachuco and the ZOOT lifestyle. And then I will end it off with giving you a chance to promote all your businesses. How does that sound?
Oh, yeah, brother. I'll give you my bringing up. Great. You know, like quick and easy so we can talk about
it. Well, let's go all the way back. Let's take it all the way back. Okay. Tell everybody where you grew up.
Okay. I was born in 1948, Christmas Eve, in Mexicali, Mexico. Family moved to Chino, California, and in 1958, moved to Paramount, right next to Compton. Brought up in Paramount, graduated from Paramount High School. In fact, the new Raider coach, Antonio Pierce, grew up in Compton, but he graduated from Paramount High in 1996. So
yep, I actually graduated in 96. I graduated in 96 myself, and I played against him for 2 years straight. He was the linebacker, and I was the blocking guard. And man, I played against him. So it was a trip seeing his name. I'm like, whoa, that's. It was almost surreal. Yeah. I was like, that's pretty dope, man.
Where'd you play?
I went to Downey High School.
Oh, Downey. Oh, yeah, the Vikings.
Yep, right up the block.
So, so I'm proud of Antonio Pierce from Paramount High. Once a Pirate, always a Pirate. And that's why I represent Paramount.
Yeah.
I always wear my Paramount Pirates T-shirt, and I got a hat that says Paramount on it. So they call me Mr. Paramount or the mayor of Paramount. But anyway, I graduated 67. I'm 75. I'll be 75 Christmas Eve.
Okay.
So I've lived a good life.
Yeah.
I survived the Vario in Paramount, and I survived not going to Vietnam during the Vietnam era. I was in the Navy from 69 to 75.
Wow. And thank you for your service.
Thank you. I played football, basketball, baseball in high school, but my game was basketball. I played against some legends from Compton and Centennial. I was all-league first team my senior year with Compton. Some Dwight Taylor, Ronaldo Brown, Sleepy Montgomery from Centennial, Mickey Curitan, he's a legend, running back. I played against all those guys. So, I made an all-league first team with Dwight Taylor, one of the greatest guards at Compton.
Of course.
So, and I ended up playing 4 years of basketball for the Navy. That's what I did in the Navy.
What years were you in the Navy again? Remind me.
69 to 73.
60. Yeah. So that was at the height of the Vietnam War.
That was.
What were you going through back then? Were you afraid to get drafted? I mean, what was a young, like at that time?
Yeah. Okay. I didn't know if you were in a hurry, but real quick.
Oh, no. We got about, if you're okay with it, we have about 40, 45 minutes. So I definitely want to take it slow.
Oh, yeah. That's cool. Yeah. I'm not, I thought you were, but no, that's cool. I'll make things quick to avoid the draft, I went to Compton JC for like a year, and I didn't really like school. Then when I didn't go to Compton anymore, well, actually, you're going to get drafted, especially Vietnam. So I got a letter from the Navy to come see the recruiter, and I said, well, Army, I'll probably be in a foxhole in Vietnam and not come home, but at least if Navy, I'll be on a ship and hopefully cruising around it and have a greater survival. And it ended up, I was in Brunswick, Georgia for 4 years. Just travel like a base team, travel team. Played all over Florida, Alabama, Mississippi. So I saw racism because our basketball team, the coach was a white guy, 6 brothers, 2 Mexicans, me and the ball boy, Mexicans, And I'll never forget, walked into a restaurant, and all them rednecks over there from Georgia, like, turned to look like,
Wow.
what am I doing? What am I doing with the
record
they use
scratches
the
on
N-word,
Oh, wow.
over there.
Yeah.
And I mean, I didn't hear him say it, but that's what the way it is. You know how it is, Mississippi, Alabama, Georgia.
Yeah.
And they were like, oh, yeah, 6 brothers, a Mexican and a white coach. So I I experienced it, but I wasn't brought up that way. I was like, just a normal person. I wasn't taught hatred or racism or anything. In high school, I grew up more with a white friends than I did Mexican. Yeah, and I just like I said, I survived Paramount Water because all the homies were either sniffing glue, getting high and all that. I just kept to myself, and so God is good. God is good.
Yeah. What was Paramount like back in the 50s and 60s? Give us an idea.
Man, I'll tell you right now, like Downey, Lakewood High, all white.
Yep.
And maybe 1 or 2, 3, 4 Mexicans, and that was it. That's what we went through. Like Lakewood High School last month asked me to go speak on the ZOOT riot. And what an honor. They heard about me because I do the ZOOT riot cruise downtown LA. And City of El Monte asked me to go speak on the ZOOT riot. Lakewood High spoke to the whole student class, during lunch, the whole school. And I told him, I go, man, I'm just in shock because I remember playing Lakewood and it was all white. And now it's like 60% Hispanics and red.
That's how it is with Downey. When I was going there, it was mostly white.
Same thing. Yeah. And Downey's changed. I go by there sometime when school's out and you see a lot of Hispanics. Yeah. And blacks or Samoans, like Paramount Samoans, blacks, the whites are the minority now at Paramount. Yeah. So
when did you notice a change? They call it white flight, I guess. But when did you notice a change from white to Latino, Hispanic, Samoan?
I believe my brother graduated. He graduated in '76, and I think it was like the first black player that played at Paramount in like '76, '77. I want to say. Of course, I was married and gone, so I didn't. But I would come around and go through the Barrio Cruiser just to reminisce my days growing up here. And probably the late '80s, they started to really merge, different ethnic groups coming in.
Yeah.
So I think the '80s and the hip hop and all that changed things. Yeah. And that was great being there. I went to the historical significance of it, so that's why I was there. And I even got invited because I was there. The Crenshaw Parade the day after Christmas, and the lady that runs it, she invited me to be in the parade with my '33 Chevrolet. So I did noticed a lot because of the ZOOT and the history of the ZOOTers.
Let's jump into the Pachuco culture and things like that. Let's talk about your personal experience. When was the first time you became familiar with the Pachuco culture?
All right. Growing up as a kid, there's a famous Mexican actor, Tintan, which when I was a little 7, 8, 9-year-old kid, I see his movies. He was a comedian, but he wore a zoot suit. But when you're a kid, I didn't think nothing of that zoot. And he wore his head feather in the back straight up, where you see the movie Malcolm X, the feathers on the side and about 2 feet long. But he's considered the original Pachuco. But you got to go back. As I learned more about it, my experience was when the movie Zoot came out with Edward James Olmos.
79?
In like 80. Yeah. Well, the play was 79, or 78, 79. The movie, I believe, was 80, 81, something like that. When I saw that movie, like something just came over me, and I go, oh man, that is bad. That's our culture. And I started investigating more into it. Well, yeah, that was the riots in L.A. I started hearing about it, and then not only that, uh, uh, blacks, Filipinos, Japanese, whites even wore them, but that was rare. But a lot of whites got, because when the riots happened, whoever had a zoot on during that week of rioting, you're getting beat up because you had a zoot on over material. And I couldn't understand why would you get in a riot over that, but there was more to it. Not only were the Hispanics and blacks and whoever wore them, we were at war and we needed the material for the service. And so that was one thing against the youngsters wearing them, and the material, and then them not joining the military to fight for the United States. So that was like two strikes against them. But some of those pachucos were 12, 13 years old getting beat up over a zoot. So that led to the rioting for a week from June 3rd to June 9th. Some books say June 9th, June 10th, but it was a whole week of rioting. But I believe in the movie American Me, it starts out where the Mexican couple, Pachuca, the military guys happened to go in, I believe, in a restaurant, and they raped that Chicana. They were beautiful.
Yeah.
The Pachucas were beautiful with mini skirts, and the Navy. I was in the Navy, so they come in all drunk and all that. They go to bars. They see they try to pick up on her. So naturally, the Pachuco's going to defend. Hey, that's my girl or my wife or cousin or whatever, and that led to the rioting. And then they don't say, of course, the U.S. government, they raped a lot of the Pachuca. There was a lot of rape, and that led to the rioting. And then where Dodger Stadium is, there was a naval armory there, and that's where the Navy guys went to downtown L.A. to. A lot of people don't know that there was a naval armory there, and that's where Dodger Stadium is, and that led to the rioting.
I want to go slow a little bit because there was a lot leading up to the riots, and then because that's the climax of unfortunately everything. But let's go all the way back. Let's take it a little slow. Let's explain the Zoot Suit to people who don't understand what it was. I know you mentioned that young kids were, I guess, saying F the system. There was a war going on. They were supposed to be saving fabric, but they were putting extra fabric on their clothes, extra big baggy pants and things like that. And when we see pictures, we see them mostly in black and white because it was a time where all the pictures were black and white. So we never got the chance to understand how bright and bold some of these colors were on these Zoot suits. Can you give everybody a breakdown of what a typical Zoot suit consisted of back then, from the hat to the shoes?
I'm going to go back to late 30s. Cab Calloway, famous orchestra leader, wore a white zoot in the movie Stormy Weather. And, I mean, that's a bad zoot suit, and with the chain and everything. So I did my T-shirt for my 80th anniversary cruise. I got Cab Calloway on one corner of the T-shirt. Then I have that Mexican actor Tintan on one side. Then I have Malcolm X down below, which a lot of people didn't know he was a zoot.
Yeah.
Then our own race. I got Cesar Chavez on the bottom left, and our own race. They didn't. Cesar Chavez, we didn't know he was a zoot. I go, yeah, he's a zoot. So I'll have to give you one of my shirts.
Oh, please.
That'll show you that. And so they go back to the 30s. Now, I don't want to get into a big discussion over it, but supposedly the first zooter was a black kid from Georgia. And then my nephew did some research, and there was a Jewish tailor in Chicago that made the first zoot. So I've heard that, but it was I had heard prior years that it was in El Paso. So I don't know the full. There's different theories, but in El Paso is where the Pachucos originated. And back to the girls. The reason they had that long beehive hairstyle. They would hide their blades and knives and all that in their hair. And a lot of the Pachucas wore like the guys. They dressed like the guys. They didn't wear skirts. Like some of them wore the pants, the chain, and the guys had double soles for dancing and for the kicking. You know, so they had double soles, the black and white shoes, black shoes. Some Pachucos wore hats, some didn't. You got to remember, back in those days, like a lot of guys couldn't afford it. So they just dress up, you know, whatever they could afford or whatever. There's a famous Murray's shop on 3rd and Main, which naturally it's not there no more, but it was right there on the corner of 3rd and Main. And I've gone downtown to check it out. I don't know which corner, but I now I can say this was where Murray's tailor shop, a famous shop brand. They even made a shark skin ZOOT where you could sleep in it and you didn't have to worry about ironing it. Shark skin suit. So you're learning some history. I don't know if you ever heard of that.
No, you've already taught me a few things tonight, and I thought I knew everything about this culture.
Yeah. Oh no, brother. That I tell people that I've done a Long Beach Press Telegram interview like with you, and I told them, you know, here we're at war with Japan and Germany, but we were at war in our own home country with the rioting over the material, you know, ZOOT. That was a fad. And not only that, they imprisoned the Japanese Americans. They imprisoned them. At Manzanar, I've been there because that's a historical place. It's a museum there. And when I see the write-ups in the Long Beach Press Telegram about the Japanese going to the camps, I say those because that's history. And, you know, they were Japanese Americans, but because they were fighting the Japanese, they thought security purposes sent them to camps, you know. Yeah. So that's another dark area of history to imprison them. But later in the 80s, I believe, I read the paper that whoever filed not a lawsuit, but paperwork on it, families got like $20,000 for the apology. And and then when Edward James Olmos, the play was a success. That's what made Edward James Olmos a play. Later on, he's an actor. You've seen him. So I got pictures with Edward James Olmos. I got pictures with Danny Trejo, Poncho Sanchez, a Latin Grammy winner, conga player, Vida Guerra, famous star, and Patrick Starr. I guess she's a makeup artist, and I did a video for her. I did the video for that guy that does that song "Rock and Roll Gangster" by Alon or Alon. Gangster, yeah. If you see that video, I'm walking next to him with my Tommy gun, like his bodyguard.
Nice.
Yeah. Because I got a Tommy gun in the back seat of my car.
That's right. Yeah. Let's give everyone out there a history lesson on how Chicanos were being treated in California in the late 30s, early 40s. And before we do that, keep in mind, everyone, just less than 100 years before that, California belonged to Mexico. And we were, at war, like my man Manny said earlier, and American whites were growing suspicious of Chicanos in Los Angeles. There were rumors going around that Chicanos had spies working with the enemy and the Japanese, and a lot of the early marijuana laws were enacted specifically to put Chicanos in jail and prison. So talk to us, to the best of your knowledge, how Chicanos were treated, in the 30s and 40s in California. We're going to go back to 1930s, and to this day, I asked my mom. She's 95 years old, still alive. Wow, you're blessed, bro.
And I questioned her, but my mom keeps things inside. She doesn't talk about it. But I questioned her because I found out through PBS on television. His Mexicans were sent back to Mexico when the Depression, and that's
they
about
were taking
the time.
Jobs, right?
Right.
They were here
working, But since the whites didn't have jobs, okay, you Mexicans are going back to Mexico, so the whites could have the jobs that they were doing. And I asked my mom, because my mom was born in 28, 33 is when she went back at 5 years old. And she was born in Van Nuys, California. And I go, Mom, was it because she said because they treated them bad in school. The Mexicans, it's probably true. The Mexicans in the back and the whites stayed up front. They only taught the whites and the Mexicans in the back, just like the blacks on Rosa Parks.
South.
You sit in the back of the bus, yeah. And so I asked her, and she didn't really give me an answer, but I think I'm right. That's what happened. They got deported back to Mexico because it's the same time frame. And this way, whites could work whatever jobs they had, like matching, picking the field and all that. And then my mom came back. I was born on Christmas Eve, 1948, is when she came back to Chino, California, where I lived a few years and then moved to Paramount in 58. But that's right there. That's and then I seen PBS. I watch PBS because they have documentaries on blacks, Japanese, Chinese, and all the Chinese workers in the 1800s did the railroad, and you don't hear too much about that. But yeah, there's signs like in Texas, Arizona, and no Mexicans or dogs allowed.
Yeah,
in a restaurant. Nowadays, I mean, how could they do that? But that's the way it was back in the day. Yeah, and like you said, it belonged to Spain, and then Mexico owned it, and then we were a threat. I guess we were like just like the blacks, slaves, and the haciendas. They're workers. Yeah. So there's been a lot of racism, and then even the pickers in the 30s, 40s, there was no bathrooms or nothing. They just picked for whatever quarter a day or whatever it was back in those days. Shoot, when I got out of the Navy in 73, $2 was the minimum wage, and I had 2 kids, so I took a $4 job. Yeah, yeah. So,
damn.
Yeah,
different time.
A lot. And then just last month, I've been wanting to see that movie Till on that boy from Chicago that they brutally beat and killed in Mississippi.
Yes.
Till? Yeah. Oh, what
Emmett
a movie.
Till? I haven't seen it. Yeah, I know the story for sure, but I haven't seen it.
You got to see it. You got to see it.
Oh, man.
You got to see it.
Yeah,
they his mother to do that, because the mortician said, "Nah, don't show your son's in the viewing. Don't show his body." She goes, "No, I want the world to see this."
And now that picture that picture's worldwide famous, and yeah, man, yeah. And the other movie that I feel all the high schools should be showing this movie, Stand and Deliver. Love that movie. One of my favorites, literally. Yeah. Shout out to Jaime Escalante, Garfield High.
Yeah. Because I love that saying. He says, "Oh, yeah, if it would have been Beverly Hills, you guys wouldn't be investigating. But because it was Garfield and Mexican, they investigated." So that was a good point. I love that in the movie.
Such a good movie.
Yeah, that should be shown at all high schools. To me, that should be shown. And now that we're talking, I'm going to go to, because I know the football coach at Paramount. Everybody knows me. Maybe they can bring Chicano studies back to a high school, or any of the blacks, Japanese, just overall history. So I don't know. These kids nowadays, they don't know.
They have no idea, bro.
They have no idea. Yeah. When the movie Cesar Chavez came out, I think like 10 years ago, I went to the theater dressed ZOOT, and I stood in the aisle, and I see Hispanic kids go by. "Oh, you're going to go see Cesar Chavez?" "No, oh, man, that's our brother, man. And this is the way he dressed. ZOOT. They look at me. I go, "Did you guys know he was a ZOOT or no?" Yeah.
What's a ZOOT? Like, they don't even know. Like, they're so far removed, bro. Man.
Yeah. yeah, like, what is it? They were looking at me weird because of my clothes. You know, like I go, yeah, he was a ZOOT, or he wore this. And Cesar Chavez is buried in a little town called Keene, right out of Tehachapi. It's of a national monument there. Obama went there in 2012 and made it officially a monument there. I've gone there. I even got the city of Paramount to do a bus trip there. So as soon as it was, and that was 5 years ago when I mentioned it, and they just did it last year. And man, I got on that bus. I was there. So that's history there. And that was like his hideaway. It's out in like in the mountain area, rural area. Because I thought he was buried in Delano, but that's where he's buried. Keene, Keene, I believe.
Mm-hmm.
Keene.
Yep.
Keene. That's where he's buried. And now his wife passed a few years ago. Now she's there. And for his birthday, I usually go there. The first time I went, it was like 7-8 years ago. His brother was speaking when I walked in, and after he spoke, he goes, "Man, when I seen you, you brought memories of my brother, Caesar." So he was a ZOOT. I'll never forget that. News media was there. Brother, I'm not bragging, but I'm all over the website. I don't do computers or tablets, nothing. I live in the 40s. I tell people.
I love it.
I don't text. You call me. If you send me a text, I'll read it, but I won't text you back.
Uh-huh.
And my ringtone when you call me or anybody calls me, it's "In the Mood" by Glenn Miller, 1942. Yeah. So I'll be at a restaurant and it rings and people, oh man, they start like dancing. They go, oh, I love that ringtone. Well, I'll go to your provider. They'll put a song that you want in there. A lot of people don't know that, but they'll put a song that you like.
Oh yeah.
And,
yeah.
So I'm a diehard historian. I love history.
Same here. I'm in heaven right now, just hearing these stories, man. I like this stuff.
Yeah. Can we go back to have you heard of the Sleepy Lagoon incident?
Of course, dude. We're leading up to that. Okay. That's probably about 2 or 3 down. Yeah. Yep. We're right into. Let's jump into that. Actually, that's a great idea. Let's talk about the Sleepy Lagoon incident. August 1942, a group of Chicano kids from 38th Street became involved in what is known now as the Sleepy Lagoon murder. Tell us about the Sleepy Lagoon murder.
Okay, that happened August 2nd, 1942, 10 months prior to the ZOOT riot. This kind of led to that because Sleepy Lagoon is located. I did a cruise 2 years ago. I did a cruise. I was very hurt, disappointed. I threw the flyer out there. I was thinking, there's going to be a couple hundred cars to come to this, but it's hot in that month, August. 3 cars showed up, and maybe 10 people, and I located where it's at.
So they're kind of by Bell down, like
it's Slauson and Eastern.
Gotcha. Okay, like
Maywood, right in that area.
Cudahy. What would it be considered?
That's considered Commerce.
Commerce,
Bell.
Yep.
Bell, if you ever want to go there, we'll talk about it. I'll take you to there.
Yeah,
I'll take you
like
to
10 minutes from there.
Gravesite. Yeah, I found out earlier this year his gravesite. He's buried on Eastern and Whittier Boulevard, Calvary Cemetery. Found his location. I did a cruise for that. There we go. Our own race. Nobody showed. I posted a cruise to his gravesite. Maybe 3 cars showed up.
Damn, that's a shame.
Yeah, because he's known as, like, look up Jose Diaz.
I'm familiar with the name.
Clanton.
Yeah, he was the one that was killed, correct?
Jose Diaz was the one murdered Sleepy Lagoon at Williams Ranch.
Yeah,
which is right there where in the location.
Tell the story to everybody. Start from the beginning. Tell the story of what happened. And I know a lot. Some people spent time in jail who weren't the real killers. And tell us about the story.
Okay, Jose Diaz grew up in Clanton, Planton. Clanton is over there by LA off of
38,
like 15th Street. Over there, like almost downtown LA. Clanton. Look up. They're the oldest gang in Los Angeles.
14, right?
Planton. Okay, 14th Street, which is now 14th. But listen to this. I just found out. The street was Clanton. That's why they call their gang Clanton, Planton, because it was Clanton in the 20s, but they were so bad that the city, I believe in the late 40s, 50s, they changed that name because they were so vicious, I guess. And now today it's 14th Street. So
Yep.
that freaked me out when I found that out. So that's the oldest gang in Los Angeles, back to the 20s, and that's where he was from. So anyways, he went to the party, Williams Ranch, right there in Commerce. Back then, I think it was like Vernon, city of Vernon. The lagoon, it was called Sleepy Lagoon because, get this now, back to the racism. Mexicans and blacks, only whites could go to a public pool. Mexicans, and they had to go to the beach or whatever. And that Sleepy Lagoon was the swimming pool for the non-whites. That was a place to go, make out at night. And Harry James wrote a song. Look it up, Sleepy Lagoon, 1942.
Mm-hmm.
There's a song, Sleepy Lagoon, by Harry James. So he's there, wrong place, the wrong time. He's murdered. Then here comes Henry Leyva from 38th Street with his girlfriend. He happened to come upon Jose Villa, and there he is dead. So then the Downey Boys. Have you heard of the Downey Boys?
Yeah, break it down also. See, I'm familiar, but I know a lot of my audience aren't. Talk to us about the Downey Boys.
Yeah, Downey Boys. They were there. They kind of, I believe they were at the party, and then it led to some punching out and stuff, and so Henry got his guys from 38th Street, and that led to but
Downey Boys were all white.
Henry, wow, what a shocker! But there was some Mexicans, but it was white. Yeah, but because there was a meeting with that guy from Downey Historic Society. We talked to some of the sisters of those guys, and they were telling the story. So I was there, I heard it, but. So Henry gets his boys, but Henry Leyva was there when the cops came. So that in those days, hey, you were there, so and he already had a record. Henry Leyva,
he was the one later convicted for the murder of Joey Diaz, also known as Hank.
I'm getting to that. Yeah, right. So I'm getting to that. So they take him in, and they beat him and beat his face up, and being a Mexican, so he's the one that killed Jose Villa, and it wasn't so, and then 17 guys and 4 Pachuca, 22 total, got sent to prison for his murder, and they had now get this, they had a Jewish lawyer and a lawyer. And she was Jewish, and a woman to top it off during World War II.
Damn.
And she helped out, and Orson Welles, the actor, helped out. Anthony Quinn, Rita Hayworth, they were Latinos and Latinas. They helped out with the fees or whatever to help them out. And then they did, I think, 2 years, and they finally got freed. And then later in the 80s, one of the guys, I believe the guys from Downey, in his, his sister at her deathbed said it was my brother that killed Jose Villa. So it was never Henry Leyva, but because he was the violent guy around LA from 38th Street, and he happened to be there, the racism set in. Oh, and in court, no haircuts, no baths, and when they called their name, they had a stand-up, sit-down. So that's what helped the release, because the judge and all the prosecutors were prejudiced. So that's how they got released.
Yeah.
due to the racism and treatment of the guys, Pachuco. So June 9th or June 3rd, I did my cruise. A week later, June 9th, how fitting, the LA City Council meeting had me there and a bunch of Pachucos. We showed up and they gave us a formal apology. Thanks to Kevin De Leon. He told the city council, this happened 80 years ago, June 3rd. And, you know, it showed the racism of the Los Angeles PD over these guys wearing zoot. He said Mexicans, blacks, whites. They was even writing in what? I just remembered that. So they rioted all over. But the main big riot was in LA.
Mm-hmm.
And I mean, I couldn't believe the city council people were listening to Kevin De Leon give a little history like I am. And some of them spoke. They all spoke after Kevin gave a speech about the riots. And they go, God, Kevin, Mr. De Leon, we did not know this happened in Los Angeles 80 years ago. And thank you for bringing that to our attention. So I have the proclamation. I'll send you a picture. I'm holding the. In fact, I had my birthday party Saturday, and somebody brought the proclamation, and I have it. And it's the formal apology. And after that, man, I got Almani calling me, Lakewood High School, speaking there. We took 20 classic cars and had a car show the next day there at Lakewood. And due to the Hispanic Chicano person there in charge. Because you know the Mexican Heritage or the Latino Heritage Month, I think, is in October.
Mm-hmm.
So she heard about me. She got a hold of me. Oh man, I'd love to have you here. Would you speak? I go, I'm not a speaker, but when it comes down to the ZOOT riots and all that, I'm speaking. I'm speaking to you, but out of my heart, because I really don't speak. But I want
Really
the younger generation to realize what went on in those days.
What was some of the things going on during the ZOOT riot? And
the actual rioting in 43, right?
Yes. After, yeah.
I'll tell you right. I tell people I was in the Navy. If I would have been in the Navy that time, and I like a zoot, and I come home on leave, if I would have put it on, and I said, no, wait, I'm in the Navy, guys. Yeah, right.
Yeah.
I would have got beat up. Because of the zoot. But if I were to tell them I'm in the Navy, I'm one of your fellow sailors. And in fact, Cesar Chavez in his book, I bought it at his location. I bought his book, and he says the worst 2 years of my life was in the Navy from 46 to 48. Those were the worst times because, you know, Mexicans, blacks, Filipinos, they had them try to clean the restrooms, mop the deck, cook. Yeah, they couldn't do anything. Yeah, they couldn't do anything. Become higher officers or pilots.
Wow.
Look at the Tiki Airmen, famous. Yeah, I love that. And so they were military guys were going in theaters, taking them out of the movies. Just think, you're sitting there watching a movie, and all of a sudden, sailors are pulling you out there and beating you up out on the streets on Broadway, Third and Main, Spring Street. Yeah, they were pulling them out of theaters, restaurants, whoever had a zoot on that whole week. In fact, that they were banned for the week. Yeah, they were banned. Zoot. You cannot wear a zoot for a whole week due to the rioting. Yeah.
Now, were the Chicanos, were they mainly victims, or were they starting stuff too, or walking around looking for trouble as well?
Okay, I'm not. I don't want to. I guess I am defending the zooters because, I'm going to tell the truth. Yeah, they were victims because that was a fad. But like earlier, I mentioned that the guys would be nightclubbing together, but then these military guys would get uh, drunk, and then they try to pick up on the girls. So that they were defending, but who's the bad person? The ZOOT. But it was actually the military. Yeah, I never thought about it, but that was a good question. Yeah, to me, it's the military. Not because I'm a ZOOT, but think about it. They were just out going to the movies, going to dance. You see that in Malcolm X, that dancing. What a scene! Great dancing.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, they were just out to have a good time. But the military guys would get drunk. So, you're out to see, 30 days, 60 days. You come in and see a beautiful pachuca. So you ask them to dance, but you're drunk. And then that's what led to it. That's what led to the rioting and fighting.
Mm-mm.
Yeah. So they were instigators. And then, in fact, the police, instead of helping the ZOOTers, they were helping the military guys.
Damn.
Yeah. Yeah, they wouldn't be stopping them. They'd let them go ahead, beat them up, And I'll never forget. I went to a family function in Pomona about 20 years ago, and I had my ZOOT on, and the security guy was looking at me as I'm walking out, and I'm a no trouble person. I go, "How you doing, security?" He goes, "Yeah, I remember we took care of you guys."
Whoa.
Man, I'll never forget that. Yeah, he was still holding a grudge from back in the 40s.
Sheesh. Damn.
He told me that. I'll never forget that.
Wow.
Yeah, we took care of you guys during the war. Man, I just walked by. I just went in. I don't. I'm not a troublemaker. Those are ignorant people.
Of course, let them be ignorant and let them die. Ignorant.
Yeah.
My last question for you, and then I want to give you a chance to promote your businesses because I know you have a few things going on. But and I'm asking this next question respectfully: is the Pachuco and the Cholo synonymous? I hope I'm asking that right. Does that make sense?
Okay. Anonymous. What is
synonymous?
Really
is it the same? Did the Pachuco morph into the modern day Cholo?
Okay. That's a tough question because I don't want people to get the Cholos are back like that. That's like late 67. My era. I graduated at 67. I wore khakis 1 year, but I was into sports, so I said, "Nah, this isn't me." But Cholos, it's totally different.
I guess I mean just I think I mean most likely the dress. I mean more of the dress style. I guess I should be a little more specific. The baggy jeans, the oversized shirts.
Yeah.
Sorry, that's what I meant.
Yeah, that's like you're representing a Cholo, where the ZOOTers, that was classy, going out to dance, swing dance, and have a good time. Yeah, totally different generation.
Gotcha. Yeah. Okay, thank you. Thank you. I appreciate you answering that. I appreciate you sharing the story, giving us some history. And I know you, like I mentioned, have I'm holding your business card right here. Tell everybody what you do and where they can find you.
Okay. Arnold has my card, and it's my business card with my 33 Chevy Eagle gangster car and my red Zoot. I have 7 Zoot, by the way. And El Pachuco in Fullerton is where you get original Zoot. There's another place in Southgate.
Harbor, right?
Greenspan. Yeah. El Pachuco's on Harbor.
Yeah.
They've been there since 78. A quick history on her, because I asked her so I can know, how did you start the shop? She went to the play, and I think she said her brother she wanted to get a Zoot for her brother, and there was no place to go. So the rest was history. She started El Pachuco. Phyllis and Ray started El Pachuco in 1978. And I got 7 Zoot now. I got my friends buying the Zoot there. Their Zoot are in the movies. They're well known. Green fans, I can't answer for them. Supposedly they sell Zoot, but I don't know. Yeah, the original owner's not there. I've gone there like young guy, so I don't know that much about Greenspan. But yeah, El Pachuco is like my family. They just had their first 45th anniversary dance in Anaheim, and it was bad. There's a famous guy. Look up Pachuco Jose.
Okay.
It's his band. Dressed as ZOOT when he sings and he dances. He's worldwide famous. Pachuco Jose. And in fact, Mark. Yeah, there you go. Yeah, you know him or
no? I just looked it up right now as you were talking.
Oh yeah, the month. In fact, there's gonna be. You're welcome to go. I'll send you the flyer at Stevens Steakhouse
in Commerce. I was
Commerce?
just there watching I was just there watching swing band do their thing. They have very cool. I would love to go.
March. I'll send you the flyer. March 13th, I believe, 16th, Saturday, Sunday. I'll send you the flyer. Pachuco dancing show there.
Nice.
And they've had some. They have them like every 6 months. If you want to,
I just saw the wise guys there.
You want to see ZOOT there? You'll see them that night.
Nice.
And Pachuco Jose. Oh, in fact, Pachuco Jose is playing that night. Yeah, I'll send you the flyer.
Nice.
Yeah, I think you should be there. And
I'll definitely remind you. Yeah, I'm gonna remind you for sure.
Yeah, and remind me because senior moments. I don't remember it. So we met at Easy.
Yep.
Yeah, right now I met so many people.
Yeah. So I was the one that interviewed you. Well, you probably got interviewed a bunch that day. I was probably the first one there. I was there about 9:30 in the morning and pulled you aside.
Oh yeah, I was there at 8:30.
Yeah,
I was there at 8.
There was only a handful of us there. That
yeah. Okay, now I remember. Yeah.
Such a good day.
And I met that guy, that rapper K9.
That's right.
Did you meet him?
Yeah, he used your car, right?
My car. I got pictures with him on my. He's holding my Tommy gun, and I told him, if you ever want to do a gangster video, just call, my car. You see my car. He goes, that's bad.
Yeah, and if anyone wants to rent your car or use it for videos, they can definitely do that. Do you want to give your number out, or do you want me to post it in the description?
Yeah.
The video?
You can post it if you want, or you want me to.
Yeah, go for it. Yeah, please do. Yeah, go for it.
Yeah, my number is 562-900-4119, and I do weddings, whatever, birthdays. Some people say, "How about just taking us to dinner?" Yeah, as long as it's a couple hours minimum. Couple hours, I do anything.
Probably proms and things like that as well, probably.
Yeah,
right?
Proms, I do. Yeah, I'll never forget a dad that told his son, because nowadays they want these party buses and all that.
Right.
Man, my car rolling in, shoot, that turns heads.
Yep.
That's what happened at Anaheim Stadium years ago. I took a kid, and his dad says, "You're going in to your prom in this car, no party bus." He told him, "You're going in." Man, I pull up, limos there, and party bus. All his friends just turned and looked. I rolled up, zooted down, roll up in the car, open the door. Man, his friends were everybody was amazed. Here he pulls up in a gangster car. Yeah.
I love that, man. Well, Pachuco Manny, any last words? Anything else you want to promote?
No. Well, thank you. I'm glad to see that, you hear you're a younger generation. You're like me. You want to learn the history of Blacks, Mexicans, whatever.
I'm almost 50 years old, so it feels good to be called young, my brother. Thank you. You just made my day.
Yeah. Yeah, you made my day. I was nervous earlier, but I said, no, I'm going to, I'm going to be out there, I guess, on the radio or something. Yeah.
Yeah. So, I have a big following, and I know a lot of them are interested in this history. And when I do post this show, I'll send you the link so you can check it out. And if you want to share it with your family and let them hear it as well.
Send it to me. I'll have somebody, because I don't know how to.
I got you. I'll take care of you, man.
But no, send it. Yeah. No, my number, that's my business number. You throw it out. If they call you, can we have his numbers? Say yes, or just call his number. Call him.
I sure will.
Whatever. And if somebody wants, like rappers, or somebody, I would love to go to. Oh, you know what? We went to the Father's Day car show in Beverly Hills. Have you heard of the show? Have you heard of that show? I never heard of it, but it's on Father's Day. And prior to Father's Day, a couple months earlier, we were at a book signing. Oh, the owner of Felix Chevrolet, at a book signing event. I wore my red ZOOT, and the guy he goes, "Oh, by the way, I'm so-so. I run the Beverly Hills car show." I go, "Wow, Beverly Hills, those are $1 million cars there and all that." And he goes, "I would love." My nephew and I were dressed, and he goes, "I'd love to have you guys at the show because Rodale Drive, fashion, and here we saw our ZOOT. That's fashion and something unique, brother." Man, we had people from Russia, Germany taking photos of us. And I explained to them real quick, yeah, this was worn in the 40s. ZOOT. They were called ZOOT. And I mean, people were just coming up, and we got pictures. Jay Leno was there. We got pictures with Jay. I'll send you the pictures of Jay Leno. And yeah, I got pictures of a lot of famous. So my car is well known, and I'm well known for ZOOT. Yeah.
That's dope.
So if any rappers or whatever they want to do, in fact, I did do a video, Machine Gun Blues for Social Distortion, famous band from Orange County.
Of course, man, yeah.
Yeah, my car's in their video. I did that video like 15 years ago. And what a video. There's over 2 million views on that video.
Oh, yeah, they're a legend.
They're a legend. Oh, see, them. Usually Mexicans or black, they don't know who Social B is. But my son's like that style, rockabilly style. And that's how I got it in there. I didn't know who they were 15 years ago. I didn't know. I wish I would have known. Luckily, I took photos. So I got photos of the guys. Mike Ness is the leader.
Yeah.
So my car is in Machine Gun Blues. So look that up. They have a shootout. The guy jumps off my running board. Yeah.
I love that, man.
Man, Arnold.
Pachuco, man. Thank you. I was just about to tell you that, man. Oh, brother, thank you so much, man.